Hey, Pastor Steve Waldron, New Life Pentecostal Church, Albany, Georgia. I hope you're having a great day in Jesus. This is one of the most helpful little pamphlets I have ever got. Got it from Creation Science Movement in the UK. I ordered all their pamphlets. If you're here in the States, don't be afraid to order from them because you get it Royal Mail, and Royal Mail is fantastic. Actually, when I was over there teaching at the Bible college, I got a couple black pennies and the red pennies, the first stamps. Be that as it may. But this is incredible. It's only 15 cents. And I'm like, I need to buy a bunch of these. So an evolution quiz, so what it is, it's just some questions of commonly assumed things that evolutionists believe that are patently untrue, scientifically proven to be untrue. Let me just read these to you. True or false? The 13 species of Darwin's finches are the result of a speciation event about 1 million years ago when a foundling stock of South American finches adapted by evolutionary processes to the different environment on the different Galapagos Islands. That is false. Now you're going to see that in many science textbooks, and it's going to be commonly received wisdom. But scientifically, the people who have in recent years studied the variations of the finches based on the different climates, based on bug population, based on various other factors. Wells goes into this in Icons and Evolution extraordinarily well, show that this is not true, that the Darwin's finches, their beaks, actually, you know, there is within DNA, there is the ability for adaptability within a species, but the species themselves are set, they are fixated. So, it's patently false. Number 2. True or false? Bacteria become resistant to antibiotics primarily because of their ability to mutate so quickly and derive new genetic information that helps a bacteria to fend off the antibiotics. False, because they have found bacteria in Arctic sea ice, in caves that are antibiotic resistant. That is totally false. Number 3, true or false? There's ample experimental evidence that the peppered moths of England are a classic example of natural selection in action. The light-colored moth on a polluted tree trunk was more easily visible to its predator, and thus the darker-colored moth was naturally selected. That is false. And I've gone to great lengths in detail to talk about this in Science in the Bible at Indiana Bible College, that all of the studies since the 19th century have shown that that did not occur. Even if it would have occurred, it would not have been proof of evolution because a moth didn't become a zebra. A moth didn't become a sloth or something like that. Maybe slothful moths, I don't know. But the moth did not change. Just there's adaptability within species, but species walls, there's genetic walls, absolutely fixed, just as the Bible says, after their own kind. Okay, so false. Number 4, which of the following is closest to the truth? In the spring of 2000, the Kansas Board of Education adopted a policy which prohibits the teaching of macroevolutionary topics such as the Big Bang and spontaneous origin of life. B, requires students to learn about microevolutionary topics such as antibiotic and insecticide resistance and other examples of natural selection. C, neither prohibits nor requires the teaching of evolutionary topics. The answer is B. But in the media it was presented as C. The answer is B. And B is require students to learn about microevolutionary topics such as antibiotic and insecticide resistance and other examples of natural selection. However, this is completely ignored in virtually every article condemning the board's decision. This document specifically states that students will be required to learn biological evolution and natural selection. This document specifically states that. So you can see how the whole world lies in wickedness, and Satan, who's a liar, is the god of this world and lies to people. Don't believe commonly accepted wisdom. Get to the facts. Get to the truth. Love truth. You've got to love truth. There's got to be a love for the truth in your life. You know, I appreciate George Washington, the mythology around him, which I know that's not true, but maybe he really did. I cannot tell a lie. People need that. They need to tell the truth. Okay, true or false? There is undisputed fossil evidence of life formerly existing on Mars. This lends credence to the theory of evolution since it suggests that the conditions necessary for life that come into existence are present on Mars and probably elsewhere in the universe. That is 100% false. And it goes into ABC News report. August 4th, 1998. Hundreds of scientists have poked, probed, crushed, dissolved, broken parts of the Mars rock known as Allen Hills 84001. So far, no one has found absolute incontrovertible evidence that the potato-sized chunk ever contained life. John Bradley, professor from here at Georgia Tech Institute of Technology, states early skepticism has evolved into international consensus that this rock does not contain Martian fossils. I do not know of a single other individual who believes it at this point. Science Magazine, November 20th, 1998. Richard Kerr says this: Requiem for life on Mars, support for microbes fades. All right. Number 6 of this evolution quiz. It totally blows out preconceived ideas of evolutionary theory. True or false? There's little, if any, dispute among evolutionary experts that Archaeopteryx is a reptile transitional form. False. There is a great dissent in the scientific community about the status of Archaeopteryx. Besides the fact of the 6 Archaeopteryxes they found, there could be some forgery, just like there was with Java Man and Piltdown Man and all these other things. All right. So, number 7, true or false? The appendix is a vestigial organ that is evidence for evolution. No. The reason they have to keep evolution going is because all of us people who had our tonsils taken out as kids, and now they realize tonsils are not vestigial organs and remnants of evolution, but they keep bacteria out of your body, we would come out with a class action lawsuit against all the scientists and scientific establishment that push that false narrative. Okay, that's extreme, never mind. And so, but no, tonsils, appendices, none of these, there's no such thing as a vestigial organ. They found that they all provide a purpose. Okay. But yet it is still in modern science textbooks, which he lists, saying that it is a vestigial organ. Okay. Number 8, feathers and scales are made from the same protein and develop in very similar ways. This statement, while not proof, is at least purports to lend some credibility to the alleged evolution of birds from dinosaurs, or reptiles, to aviaries. Okay, false. Feather proteins and scale proteins are biochemically different, being respectively phi keratins and alpha keratins. Further, the DNA that codes for the formation of each is very different, according to A.H. Bush. At the morphological level, feathers are traditionally considered homologous with reptilian scales. However, in developmental morphogenesis, gene structure, protein shape, and sequence, and the filament formation and structure, feathers are different. And that was found in the Journal of Evolutionary Biology. So, false. Okay, true or false? As far as we can determine, giraffes have long necks because during times of scarce vegetation, nature selected these giraffes with genes for longer necks. Only those with the longest neck were able to reach the highest leaves and therefore had the best chance of surviving. False. 2 articles provide documentation. Believe it or not, the man considered to be the fierce defender of evolutionary theory in the last 75 years, Stephen Jay Gould, says this is the tallest tale. Natural History, May 1996, pages 18 through 27, and Simmons and Sheepers, Winning by Nick, Sexual Selection and the Evolution of the Giraffe, The American Naturalist, November 1996. Gould's article illustrates that Darwin actually had very Lamarckian ideas about the neck of the giraffe, despite the textbook credo that Darwin overturned Lamarckian ideas. the newly proposed answer is that the genes for longer necks are perpetuated in males because they have a greater chance of becoming dominant over other males, thus gaining access to females. The only problem with this new theory is, how did the female giraffes get long necks? Boom, that's exactly right. Okay, so true or false, given long periods of time, unexpected events can and probably will happen. False. False. Okay, who are two of the most famous bridge players on the planet? Bill Gates and Warren Buffett. They are bridge partners many times. They also have a combined net worth of about $200 billion. So here's the bridge hand example. For example, it may seem highly unexpected for a perfect bridge hand to be dealt. Each of 4 persons receives a complete suit of cards from a deck of 52, but it's only because we live such short lifetimes. In fact, if we could live billions of years, perfect bridge hands would be expected to occur from time to time. False. By the way, this is claimed to be true by Richard Dawkins, another fierce and anti-Christian defender of evolution, The Blind Watchmaker, 1986. But the odds against a perfect bridge hand are 2 times 10 to the 27th power. That's Dawkins' own calculation, while the number of seconds in 4.6 billion years is 1 to 10 to the 17th power. Therefore, if a group of people played one bridge hand each second since the beginning of supposedly 4.6 billion years ago time, the odds would still be about 10 billion to 1 against a perfect bridge hand happening at some time. Unlikely events don't necessarily happen even given a long period of time. And this is the reason now they've come out with the multiverse theory from the Big Bang, that now there's so okay, they realize that the time is their enemy. So it doesn't matter if it's 15 billion years, 20 billion years, it's still statistically impossible for evolution to have made everything that made, you know, and order doesn't come out of chaos. That, you know, second law of thermodynamics, it totally contradicts second law of thermodynamics and the first law of thermodynamics, be that as it may. And so now they've come up with multiverses, that when the Big Bang occurred, it created multiverses of which were just one universe, of a multiverse. Look, it just didn't happen. It's impossible. Great booklet, recommend it. Evolution is pollution. I agree with David Huff 100%. God bless.